Talk, shop, pop, movies.
Ahoy there, this is Derek, the Convicted Cinephile. Welcome to October 2, Cruise Control. And I know you have 3 questions for me. Derek, the Convicted Cinephile. Number 1, October is my annual tradition of celebrating films in horror franchises in their second entries. And your second question, why October 2? Because this is the second year I've done it. Why Cruise Control? I'm going to make these a little more rapid fire videos than I did last year. If you did not have a subscription to my channel last year, click on that playlist at the end of the video and watch all my October videos I did last year. Let us get into October 2 Cruise Control. Right off the bat, I'm going to start with a franchise that I binge watched with my wife recently. We hadn't seen these in a while. We rewatched all 5 of these films, but since I was planning on doing October, I figured might as well include it here, and that is Final Destination 2. This is a fan favorite one. This is the one where everyone loves, the log highway crash scene in the beginning. That scene is outstanding. It is arguably the best thing in the entire franchise. But after rewatching the entire franchise all the way through, I definitely think this is not as good as a film as the original. Overall, the opening sequence is probably the best one. Because the original one, it's a pretty quick little plane crash explosion, everyone's dead. This one, it knows what it's doing, where it's showing every single person and how they died specifically so they can all get killed twice. Hashtag October 2. And that's brilliant. But beyond that, the movie is not as good as I recall. I wasn't as into it as I used to be as a kid. I used to watch the first 2 movies in this franchise damn near all the time. I saw the original one in theaters when I was 15 years old it came out, and I got carded 3 times going into it. It's like my parents bought me a ticket. I have it in my hand. Anyways, I'm still a big fan of this movie, but it was very underwhelming watching them back to back after the first one. The first one I think gets into the actual characters a little bit better. The lead is, more grounded and believable with Devon Sawa's character in the original, and the way they just write him out of the second one is kind of janky, where they're like, oh yeah, a brick fell on his head, newspaper clipping, and that's all it is. But at least you get Clear Rivers, isn't that her name? Ali Larter's character back. I assumed her name was Claire, the first 17 times I watched this movie until I finally watched the credits. It's got good deaths. Every single death in this movie is memorable. It is one of the most overall memorable kills movies ever made, probably. Most horror movies have 1 or 2 good ones you remember. There's maybe a handful of movies where you remember every single kill, even if it's been years since you watched the movie. As soon as the scene starts, you're like, oh yeah, he gets the ladder in the eye because he slips on the biscotti. Oh yeah, the kid gets squished by glass. It's all good things. But yeah, overall, I was kind of disappointed in this movie based on what I remembered about it, because after that screaming orgasm of an opening sequence, it really becomes fairly mediocre throughout the rest after all the kill sequences. Is it good? Hell yeah. Is it my favorite of the franchise? Not anymore. I think I've always preferred the first one a little bit just because of it being the original storyline and all that jazz, and it wraps up the story the best out of all of them, I feel, while still having a fun little cliffhangery ending. And then as they go from there, we'll get there when we get there. But Final Destination 2 is at worst the second best one in the franchise, I would say. Once again, my name is Derek, the Convicted Cinephile. Please like, share, subscribe, check out my TeePublic and Spreadshop stores. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hashtag October 2. Cruise Control.
Talk, shop, pop, movies.